1-800-504-4545. That's 1-800-504-4545. Life is always changing. Our Love Sack couch adapts to it all. Around for game day, moment, configuring for entertaining, and tomorrow, a new look entirely. It's always there to help us relax and recharge. No matter the moment, exactly what you need it to be. Because Sack adapts to life. Our life.
Good morning. Latest on the case live report from New York City.
I'm Eric Spillman. President was 1% tariff on movies made inside the U.S. Movie studios are scrambling to figure out what to do. I'll have movies coming up.
Good morning. Just a whole people watching their local DMV office before this week's IP deadline. You need to know by Wednesday.
Everybody, good morning. I'm Robert. Coming up, we've got Daniela Pineda in house. We look forward to talking to her just a bit.
Clouds, leaving some rain overnight last night. The wind pretty well done sure the network possibly some communities, but otherwise we will trend towards warmer temperatures and great weather. Most of the day, the cloudy side. Valley 70, 72, Orange County 69. Empire still, and then high desert.
Begin breaking news. At least 3 people are dead, 9 others in unaccounted overturned in waters off of 4 other people were in about 6:30 this morning. Several agencies have responded to the include U.S. Border Patrol and U.S. Coast Guard. It's unclear where the 12-foot vessel was coming from.
Today, the federal sex trafficking trial against Sean Diddy Combs is getting underway in New York. Jury selection has begun in the case. Could send Combs to prison for the rest of his life. Jeff Fuller joins us live from Manhattan with more on all of it. Jeff, morning.
Good morning. How are you? Today would have not come had Sean Combs' plea deal favor. As you said, as we speak, and this trial is going forward. Now, a number of potential jurors will file in that federal courtroom on the 25th floor. It'll be narrowed down ultimately to 12 people and 6 alternates to serve on this trial, which is less than 8 weeks. They will see Sean Combs sitting attorneys will not be in that orange prison jumpsuit. Instead, he's being allowed to have a 5-button shirt, 5 pairs of pants, 5 sweaters, 5 pairs of socks, 2 shirts, by the way. And this is apparently the air of impartiality, that he's not going to be looking like he's in jail when the jurors get to see him. Prosecutor will ask Combs about sex assault and infidelity, prostitution, drugs, and hip hop. He's guilty or not charged with sex trafficking. Transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, Combs' ex-girlfriend, singer and model, she's expected to testify in the case. She's expected to be the prosecutor's star witness, actually, after her now settled lawsuit accused Combs of rape, violence, human trafficking. The opening statements, they could begin as soon as Monday, because the judge overseeing this case hopes to have a jury seat. He wants only 3 days of jury selection. No. Monday should be the beginning of the opening arguments. I'm Don Muller, Lower Manhattan. I'll send it back to you.
Okay, John, thank you for that this morning. One of the people who abducted 14-year-old Elizabeth Smart in 2002 and held her captive for 9 months has been arrested again in Utah. While Barzy was arrested last Thursday for violating the terms of her parole. Barzy told police that she went to 2 local parks in Salt Lake City to sit on benches and feed the ducks. She said God told her to go. As a registered sex offender, the 79-year-old is prohibited from going to any community park. Barzy spent 15 years in prison before her 2018 release in connection to the Smart kidnapping. Her husband, Brian Mitchell, is still serving a life sentence for the abduction.
A shooting at a public park in York Linda has left 3 men hospitalized, including the suspected shooter. Turned the gun on himself. The terrifying moments unfolded around 2:40 yesterday afternoon at Federally Regional Park. An investigative suspect was involved in an altercation that was one of the victims earlier today.
It is believed that the suspect was involved with an altercation with one of the members of the victims earlier in the day. Responded back to the park, attempted to strike one of the victims with his vehicle, and then got out of the car and fired several times, striking at least 2 of the victims.
A 4th victim was injured after being hit by the suspect's vehicle, but sustained only minor injuries. The condition of the 2 gunshot victims and the suspect unknown at this time.
A new report by the LA Times revealing elevated levels of toxic metals where the Eaton Palisades fires burned in January. The Times tested soil samples for burned out properties as well as homes that survived. At least 2 Altadena homes cleared by the Army Corps of Engineers had lead levels 3 times higher than what's considered safe in California. Testing also found increased levels of arsenic, lead, and mercury in the yards of 3 homes that survived in the Eaton fire. FEMA refused to fund soil testing on thousands of clear properties in the wake of the fire. The agency says removing 6 inches of topsoil is enough to eliminate fire-related toxins.
A portion of the Huntington Beach line remains closed because of sewage spill. About 1,000 gallons of untreated sewage entered the ocean at the mouth of the Santa Ana River on Saturday. It was caused by a clogged sewer line. Crews managed to recover some 3,000 gallons. Some did still make it into the ocean. The portion of Huntington Beach that remains off limits is north of the Santa Ana River. So 1,000 gallons of untreated sewage entered the ocean. Crews managed to recover some 3,000 gallons.
More than what entered.
Yeah. Huh.
Okay.
Math doesn't add up.
It doesn't.
Unless
That's
it's just
never
there.
Never our strong
No,
point.
it isn't.
It's the 10 o'clock hour. What can we expect? Hey, what we can expect in the weather is just beautiful, beautiful coming up by the end of the weekend, all the way through the weekend. We're looking on the 7 temperatures reaching the 80s, and even in some areas you might hit into the 90s. As far as the almanac, right now we're at 63 downtown, 3 degrees warmer than it was yesterday at this time. Winds are calm in the downtown area. Skies slightly clear out. It's these next couple of hours, anywhere from 10 to 1 or 2, where you start to get your clearing. Yesterday, 61. Average 73 degrees, record set in 1928 at 93 degrees. Here's what you can expect. Marine layer coming back in right here. Barstow in through Riverside. Darker green, you might be getting some rain. Otherwise, a lot of these areas, maybe some mist, maybe inland starts out at 66, bam, 81 degrees for Friday and Saturday. Sunday at about 77 degrees. Santa Clarita Valley, 69. That goes up to 91, 94, and then Sunday, 87 degrees. Los Angeles, 66. Here we hit 73 Wednesday, but Friday and Saturday, 85 and 86, still staying in the 80s for Sunday. For the Inland Empire, 66, all the way up to 92, even 95 degrees on Saturday. All right, that said, Frank, back to you.
Another unexpected announcement from President Trump. This time he is imposing tariffs on movies made outside of the United States. He said over the weekend the U.S. film industry is dying, especially here in Hollywood. KTLA's Eric Spillman, live in the newsroom, with how Hollywood is reacting to this. Eric, good morning.
Good morning, Frank. The movie studios and the streaming services are reacting by struggling to figure out exactly how this will affect their business. President Trump says he will slap a massive tariff on all films made overseas. It could have a huge impact on Hollywood.
This can't all be true.
The latest Mission Impossible film, The Final Reckoning, starring Tom Cruise, comes out in a few weeks. And like so many big budget Hollywood movies these days, just about all of it was made outside the U.S. Filming was done in the United Kingdom, Norway, South Africa, Malta, and Italy. President Trump now says movies like that should be subject to a hefty tariff. He writes this on social media: "The movie industry in America is dying a very fast death. I am authorizing the Commerce Department to impose a 100% tariff on all movies produced in foreign lands." It is true that for years, Hollywood productions have moved overseas to take advantage of tax incentives offered by other countries. Also, in many cases, costs are dramatically lower. Call this runaway production a national security threat and blames Governor Newsom for it.
Other nations, a lot of them, have stolen our movie industry. If you're not willing to make a movie inside the United States, we have a tariff when movies come in.
What exactly would such a tariff mean? Would moviegoers pay higher ticket prices? Would streaming services increase their subscription fees because they use content produced outside the U.S.? At this point, that's not clear. We spoke via Zoom to Randy Greenberg, a former studio executive. He says the U.S. should offer tax breaks and other incentives to the studios instead of hitting them with a tariff.
So the idea of trying to keep, businesses here, keep people employed here, it's great. That's a great idea. But now we have to make it